Dog, what even is 2024? I mean, really, what are we doing?
Expect the unexpected. That's how I'd describe 2024. From tornadoes, to hurricanes, to drought-ending snow, 2024 had it all. Some things were so unexpected you would think they were once in a lifetime, until they happened twice. This video has taken me longer than I'd like to admit, not because of a lack of content, but because I didn't know where to start. So let's just start at the beginning. As exciting as 2024 was, it didn't really start that way. 2023, on the other hand, ended with a lot of excitement. There was a great storm chase in South Carolina where I was able to get plenty of footage and almost got stranded, but sometimes that kind of adds to the plot a little bit. 2024, on the other hand, though, did not start the same way. It was quite boring, and you would expect that during the winter months. Unfortunately, though, there was no snow. There was not really anything. Just a couple of squall lines moving through, one in January, another at the end of February. And that was really kind of how the year started, not too much of the unexpected. April 20th started innocently enough, but that changed quickly as a lone supercell began to develop west of the Charlotte metro. This storm would be remembered for a long time from many folks in the Rock Hill area of South Carolina, not because of a tornado, but because of the immense hail and wind that this storm packed through the area. Now, I hadn't planned on chasing on this day. However, when I checked radar and saw what I knew was going to be a big-time supercell, I got in my new Subaru, I hit the road, and I went south on I-77 to try to intercept this storm. And what I found next was something that was truly mesmerizing. After chasing the Rock Hill storm for an hour or two, it was time to let it ride off over the horizon, and it was on to May. The month of May is when 2024 found that special extra gear I didn't know it had. That moment when you put your foot on the clutch, you move your hand down, and next thing you know, you're in a sixth gear you never knew you had. That's what May was like. Before this, 2024 felt like any other year, but from here on out, the unexpected became the new norm. It started the evening of May 10th. What was a hope to see some distant aurora on my camera turned into dancing pillars over my head in the upstate of South Carolina and in the mountains of North Carolina. Truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience to capture a moment like this so far south. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy some of these images. capturing those images, I thought 2024 had peaked. I thought there's no way it can get better than this. Then 4 days later, I woke up with the spirit in my soul to storm chase and a marginal risk in the Carolinas, and well, let's just say the rest is history.
All right, it is a storm chase day, except for it's not really, because it's like a marginal risk and there's like basically no chance I'm going to see a tornado today. But I got the day off of work and it just kind of felt like good timing. So here I am. I'm going to drive to like coastal South Carolina, North Carolina border area from Charlotte. Probably about a 2.5, 3 hour drive to my target location. It is noon now, so hoping to get there about 3 o'clock-ish. Which should be good timing to catch any storms that kind of should roll through about 4 to 5. So that's the goal today. I cannot promise that we will see literally anything at all, but why not go for it? So yeah, that's kind of the plan, and we will see where it goes.
On my approach to my target location, a storm began to form, and what looked to be a very impressive storm on radar, and my hopes began to rise significantly that today could finally be the day that I photograph a photogenic tornado in the Carolinas. And that's what it looked like was about to happen. I put my drone in the air, a beautiful storm beginning to rotate, moving towards me, and then poof, it was gone. The storm basically dissipated. It just gave up on itself. And at this point, all of the anticipation, all the excitement came crashing down. Now, I had a choice. I could go back to Charlotte, call it quits, or I could continue to chase what was now basically a rain shower to the coast. And that's exactly what I decided to do, and it would end up being a decision that I will always be grateful I made. What happened next was nothing short of a localized tornado outbreak along the border belt of the Carolinas, with more than 5 tornadoes being confirmed, and luckily I was right there to see them all. So go ahead, sit back, buckle up, and enjoy some good old-fashioned tornado compilation.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
New wall cloud developing. This is near Nichols, South Carolina. This is very similar to a wall cloud that produced a tornado, or at least a likely tornado, not very long ago. And again, on radar, this does not look very good. Last storm didn't either, but look at this wall cloud beginning to continue to strengthen here, lowering closer to the ground, and I can visibly see the rotation in this thing. Again, eerily similar to the last wall cloud I saw. If you're in this area, stay safe, be careful. These are very hard to pick up on radar, so at any moment, a storm like this could drop a tornado.
I feel you burn all over me. One hit of you is all I need. Baby, I need a fix. All I wanna do is let myself right next to you. Oh. I need a few moments just to touch on you. I feel you.
Yeah, that got a little intense there at the end, I'm sorry. But then again, with a day like that, sometimes you gotta throw in kind of some pretty intense music and just throw together a whole bunch of footage, and well, that's exactly what I did. Now, May basically ended here. This was the end of the exciting stuff. There was another chase a week later. Unfortunately, didn't see much out of it due to, I'll put a little clip in here on as to why that is.
All right, so quick update. I'm gonna try my best to not laugh a lot here because it's not funny, but it is, and I'm gonna carry this for the rest of my life. So doing good, saw probably a funnel cloud, can't completely confirm, might have been scud. Either way, had one big area of rotation, then a cell merger with a second area of rotation, and then I got a phone call from another member of the UNC Charlotte meteorology storm club and a very, well-known meteorology major at UNC Charlotte. This is Maddie, everyone, whose car is behind us in the mud. So it's been eventful. Everything has gone pretty blobby at this point, so I'm not really sure I'm gonna follow it any further, but again, some chaser convergence even in North Carolina this week. And it's a great day. It really is.
Yeah, sorry about that, Maddie, but I knew the second that happened, it was definitely going in the end of year rewind. Now, June was also a really fun month. I spent some time in Myrtle Beach and was lucky enough to be featured on the Are You Serious podcast, hosted by Chief Meteorologist Jamie Arnold and meteorologist Andrew Dockery in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So huge thanks to them for having me on the podcast and letting me get a little bit of work here in front of the monitor wall.
Yeah.
Because this person's great at what he does.
Yeah, so just going to go right into it. Gerald Mingle joining us, meteorology student at UNC Charlotte.
Well, it has been a very hot start to the day, much like the week, but some relief on the way. Looking at radar currently, we do have some storms firing off to our northwest, and those are slowly going to bring their way on down towards the Grand Strand throughout today, but already impacting some of our area. Up here near Hartsville, you'll notice some pretty big lightning ongoing here with this cell, and this is more of what's to come throughout the day today.
Once again, big thanks to Andrew and Jamie for having me around the station and kind of giving me some tips and tricks for the industry there in the month of June. And spoiler alert, I'll be back in August. But between this point and August, it was just some summer fun, some beautiful structure, some nice thunderstorms, and really just had a blast enjoying some of that summer weather.
I remember the streetlights on the corner by the park we used to stay and drink past midnight till the sunrise, talking shit, a couple kids. We were friends that turned to lovers, yeah, we fell into
As summer fun was winding down, tropical trouble was just ramping up in the Atlantic, and that meant it was time to finally chase a tropical system at the coast and nowhere else but Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I was there for multiple days to track Debbie, monitor the impacts, and eventually work inland to chase the tornado threat into North Carolina. And boy, oh boy, did Debbie bring it all.
An angry Atlantic Ocean this Tuesday afternoon as Debbie continues pushing strong onshore flow here. A big time band of rain about to move in again off the Atlantic here, and you can see it's quite windy by my hair that is really just kind of all over the place right now. But again, strong storms moving ashore here, likely gusting up into that tropical storm strength. Tropical storm warning remains in effect for the Grand Strand throughout the rest of today, and probably even longer than that, really. And again, this is going to be a big theme today. Heavy rain, strong wind, flooding, and a couple isolated tornadoes. Again, some of these pockets out there that can really rotate and move onshore with that rotation are going to be a problem. So again, from Cherry Grove, South Carolina, Debbie moving on in.
Now, it didn't take long for me to find my first tornado with Debbie. In fact, it actually happened on day one as a strong supercell moved in off the Atlantic and produced this tornado in southeastern North Carolina. And it seems like that was the main place to find tornadoes in the year 2024 for me. But overall, learned a lot from Debbie, was able to kind of film some of the flooding, film some of the wind. And for my first tropical chase, really learned a lot, and I would absolutely do it again. Now, as eventful as all of that was with Debbie, really the big thing that happened was the next day, and that was the tornado outbreak in North Carolina, really up through the Raleigh area and then even kind of towards the Greensboro and Danville area. And unfortunately, these were just not very pretty tornadoes, so there's not really any exciting footage to show you, but here is a quick clip of me next to one, and let me tell you, I was really right up next to it.
Strong rain-wrapped tornado now moving through parts of North Carolina here, headed toward the Virginia border. Very strong inflow into the storm. Again, it is in the rain, so I cannot see the tornado, but there's been a CC drop on radar and very strong couplet. So tornado debris signature associated with this storm.
All right, let's pause for a second and rewind. So I had no intentions of chasing Hurricane Helene. I thought it would be a lot of fun, but being a college kid in late September can kind of, make your schedule a little tight. But then I got this text message from Mitch West, who many of you probably know I am good friends with, and he also runs his own YouTube channel. But I kind of thought, why not? Let's do it. And it worked out perfectly where I was only going to have to miss like one class, and it was a class that I could make up for later on that week. So I said, let's do it, Mitch. Let's go. And this is how it went.
All right, it is bright and early in the morning. It is like, 4:30, I think, or something like that. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, that's kind of probably blurry to read, but it is 4:30 a.m., which means, it's time to go. So we are hurricane chasing Hurricane Helene. I'm leaving Charlotte right now to go meet Mitch in Columbia, and then kind of go from there. So I'm excited. It should be a fun trip. It's my first hurricane. I've been through a tropical storm, a very weak one at the coast earlier this year with Debbie, but now it's time to chase Helene here, and looking pretty good this morning. So it's going to be a long day. I'm going to be very tired. There's going to be very minimal sleep. I'm probably going to look like a train wreck by the end of this, which is okay. You kind of expect that whenever you do these super long chases. So, all right, well, let's see what we find.
And we were off from Columbia, South Carolina, all the way down to the Big Bend of Florida. It was going to be a long drive, but luckily with two of us, we were able to conversate our way through it. And trust me, we ran through plenty of things on the way there. This crazy burning tractor trailer thing of hay bales was kind of the first thing we saw, and then we got through Georgia. Luckily got a biscuit I will never forget at a gas station and made a good old-fashioned storm-chasing Dollar General stop. But other than that, all things were pretty smooth sailing until we made it all the way down to Perry, Florida.
Well, good Thursday, everybody, here in Taylor County, Florida, as soon-to-be major Hurricane Helene is working inland towards the Florida Panhandle and Big Bend. Landfall pushed back just a tad, probably closer to 10 p.m. tonight compared to maybe 8 p.m., which is what we were thinking a day or so ago. And again, you'll notice pretty quiet here. Not many folks on the roads, multiple businesses shut down for the storm, as they should be, as we are expecting potentially catastrophic storm surge from, maybe up to 10 to 15 feet here into this part of Florida. And that's not the end of it. A big time wind field with, again, major hurricane force winds working through this region and then working well inland. We could see hurricane force winds well into the state of Georgia and potentially even gusting up near hurricane force into portions of western South Carolina, where then flooding becomes a big time threat. The mountains of North Carolina, folks, are seeing the potential for catastrophic flooding, the likes of which that nobody that is currently alive has ever witnessed in that part of the world. So Helene going to shatter all sorts of records here, and we're going to keep you updated here from the ground with live footage tonight as I'm here with my buddy Mitch West. So again, we'll keep you updated and come back for more.
Well, for this to be my first hurricane and it turning out to be a major hurricane, I'll tell you, it was very eerie walking through Perry, Florida. The businesses were closed, the boards were up, there were signs saying, "Go away, Helene." And it really puts the whole storm chasing thing into perspective. And I think Helene is a great example of that. Obviously, as a weather nerd, I love exciting weather. I love being in exciting weather. But at the end of the day, these storms obviously impact people in a big way. And that is always the number one concern. And that's why this is what I love. I love informing people about bad weather coming. Not because I'm rooting for the bad weather, but because I want to be the one to tell you, hey, it's going to happen. And this is what you need to do to prepare. So from here on out, the night was beginning, the sun was setting, the hurricane was moving in, and me and Mitch went and set up shop somewhere that we knew that we would get the best possible footage to continue to share with everybody. Alright, at this point, me and Mitch were about in position and ready to intercept the eye wall, and I'm just going to go ahead and stop talking, and I'll just let Hurricane Helene do the talking and everything that me and Mitch said at the time.
Pretty intense. Yeah, this is. Yeah, yeah, it's getting pretty intense.
Now, after sitting in the eye wall for a while, I knew I was going to have to stand it. I mean, come on. We drove all the way to Florida for a hurricane. It was my first hurricane. Heck, even my first major hurricane all in one. And it's me we're talking about. So obviously, I was going to get out there in the elements and enjoy it. And well, that led to a kind of funny, maybe-ish story. I don't know, just go ahead and watch it and I'll let you decide.
I'll be honest with you, Mitch, I'm about to go stand out there, okay? I just want the whole world to know that.
All right, so my boy Jeff about to go stand. My boy Gerald, not Jeff.
Jeff can join me if he wants. I'll let him.
So you might see a dude out on the road running around, and Jeff might get him on his screen too. Hey, Jeff! Oh my gosh! Oh, can't do that. Oh man, it is the strongest now that it's been. Uh-oh. Got that extreme wind warning. Alright, I get it. God, Gerald, you're still out there, man. You crazy. Yeah, he's having a blast. You don't even want to come in the car. You good?
Yeah.
They say Jeff is really mad at you. He said, there's that crazy news guy again.
News guy? Jeff, let a brother enjoy a hurricane every now and then.
Toast World keeps saying he's furious.
Tell Jeff I'm sure he was 20 and had his first hurricane.
Oh my gosh, this guy's out in the wind. Don't do this, folks. Storm Chasers, don't do this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so probably not my proudest moment, or maybe it was. I don't know. I had fun, even if people were calling me crazy as I was standing in the hurricane. That's what you do when you enjoy the weather. You get out in it and you experience it. Now, the problem after this was getting out of there. It's one thing to drive to a hurricane. It's another thing to get out of it with trees down on the roadway. And sure enough, that's exactly what Mitch and I ran into.
Same car. I don't think it's gonna go through that. The road's blocked off. Here's one tree. There's trees down all the way down. It's completely blocked up, man. I was thinking about trying to rip some of the branches back so I could get by.
Right next to the
So this is the issue, guys. This is the dilemma. We got a tree on Interstate 10. But we're gonna see if we can manhandle. I'm just gonna keep the live up, folks. Y'all can just kind of watch.
That's around the eyes, too.
And yeah, maybe Jeff can help us.
Now, what happened next was actually a really good group effort of a bunch of people down here on the middle of Interstate 10 in the pitch black eye of Hurricane Helene, trying to get as much of this tree out of the way so we could pass. Now, there were big semi-trucks. They were not going to be able to pass, but the little cars that a lot of us were in, they had a pretty good shot of getting around this thing if we could kind of break some of it. And actually, Jeff from earlier, who, you just watched that clip from, was here with his truck, and he was able to tie up part of the tree to it and kind of help us get it out of the way. So definitely a good group effort here, and very lucky to have other chasers or just other people who live there around to help us kind of get around this mess on I-10.
We're trying to, it's funny, we were talking about Jeff, and I just met him. We're trying to pull this, this tree out of the way, guys. We are in the eye of the hurricane right now. Doing all this, so. That four-wheel bitch. Yo, wow, man.
One removed tree later, and we were back on the road on Interstate 10. Now, after this, it was not a clean trip by any means. It was basically down branches and trees all the way to Jacksonville from where we were in Greenville, Florida there. But luckily, between this moment and kind of getting back outside of the core of the hurricane, we got some time to sit in the eye. And let me tell you, this was a core memory I will never forget, parking the car on the middle of a major U.S. interstate in the middle of the night, no lights, no other vehicles, just the sound of Mother Nature's fury inside the eye of Major Hurricane Helene.
Dog, what even is 2024? I mean, really, what are we doing?
Remember how crazy the night of May 10th was? Well, what if 5 months later to the exact same day, an even crazier event happened? Yeah, we did it all again, another aurora show in the Carolinas, this time somehow even brighter, even prettier than the first time around. And at this point in the year, I can guarantee I was fully expecting the unexpected. So when I saw there was a slight chance of some aurora, you better bet I got in my car, I drove to the nearest national forest, I set up my camera, and well, let's just say what happened next was pretty awesome. From aurora to tornadoes to hurricanes to, well, more aurora, 2024 had one more trick up its sleeve. As the calendar flipped from November to December, a cold wave settled in over the Carolinas, and with it, a small chance of some scattered snow showers the night of December 2nd. Now, it hadn't snowed in Charlotte for 2.5 years up to this point, and all we needed was a couple flakes to break the drought, and that's exactly what happened.
All right, everybody, you're about to see a GM masterclass tonight on how you freak out over very little snowfall. I'm currently in the Waffle House parking lot, not far from campus, and I'm on snow patrol. So obviously nothing's falling right now. That should change though before the night is over. I'm gonna be vlogging it for you, giving you the latest, and hopefully you get to see me kind of freak out at, you know, kind of stupid things that not normal people would freak out about. But first, gonna go ahead and eat some Waffle House and kind of simmer down a little and prepare for whatever nonsense is about to occur. Y'all, I'm in paradise. I don't know what else to say. It has been like 2.5 years. These are absolutely beautiful snowflakes. I don't even know what to say. The grass is already getting white. It's coming down at a pretty good clip. Could not really ask for much more, except for probably a jacket because I can't really feel my lips anymore. But other than that, I mean, this is as good as it gets.
The year to expect the unexpected. The year of a lifetime. And a year I will never forget.